Are you struggling with the idea of humbly relying upon your higher power?
Well, stay tuned because in this episode, we'll share how you can get over your hangups about trusting in a power greater than yourself. Well, it's July 10th, and it's time for another double shot of My Sober Truth. I love this reading today, this towards peace and serenity, because that's what we're all doing. We're moving towards a life filled with peace and serenity and prosperity and purpose and all these other things. And so being that we're in July and being that we're focusing on step 7, there's a lot of talk this month about, the keywords: willingness, acceptance, humility, and all this other stuff. But it all circles around trusting in our higher power.
Absolutely.
And so we know from talking in the past, and we know from knowing so many people that have been on this journey, this whole concept of trusting in a power greater than yourself, believing in a higher power, can be daunting for some people.
Absolutely.
And folks come into recovery with legitimate hangups in that situation. Yeah. And so my question for you today, I know that was your story. How did you get over your hangups of trusting in a higher power?
Well, you just spoke on, talked about willingness. Mm-hmm. That was a huge part. That willingness is what allowed me to get started.
Right.
I had some folks tell me to act as if.
Right.
And I think that little phrase kind of gets a bad rap. I see a lot of stuff going around on the internet. Don't act as if, do something else. Well, for me, acting as if worked because I didn't have any assurance in myself that any of this was going to work. I didn't have a belief system that I could count on or rely upon. All of this has built upon itself step by step, and has moved me in this direction of some spirituality in my life. It's moved me in the direction of trying to get an understanding of a higher power, of something better and greater than myself. So really what it has come down to, and we've been talking about it already quite a bit, but it really truly is exercising.
Right.
It's just doing it. In the words of Nike, just do it.
Right.
Say act as if, say whatever you want to say. I don't care how you put it, but even if you don't believe, start doing this stuff. And in my experience, even when I didn't believe, the act of just that little tiny seed of faith that it took for me to act as if was a start. Mm-hmm. It got me going in that direction. It's this huge thing that is still growing inside me, and I hope it never stops growing. I want it to always grow, and I want my understanding of it to grow as God sees fit for it to grow in me. But there's so many different aspects of that, but really just practicing it, exercising, making sure that when I start to get out of sorts, mm-hmm. I take a step back. I recognize it. That's one of the biggest things that comes fairly early for me, and it does for a lot of folks, I think. Some folks it's not so easy, but learning to recognize when things are going wrong and kind of starting to pump the brakes before I let myself smash into the middle of whatever this thing is that I can see. Very seldom do things really surprise me at this point in life. I can usually see them coming. And learning to pump the brakes and kind of ease to it, that's higher power stuff for me. Right. That's me recognizing what my character defects are. That's me. I know that I have anger issues. I know that I can easily let my fuse go. So before in my life, I would always just run head first into this stuff and get mad and raise a big pile of cane, whatever you want to call it. But I would run head first into this stuff. But now I can see it as it starts to build in me. I can feel it, I can see it, and I can do something about it. I can pump the brakes, I can remove myself from the situation. All of that just goes right back into this relying on my higher power. understand that I have these character defects. I understand that I'm not the end all be all. And I understand that when I ask God to help me, the one thing that doesn't really fail is when I ask him to help me with my character defects. And that's not for me to say that God ever fails. Quite often, if I'm praying for something to go right for me, maybe it doesn't go right, well, because it wasn't God's plan in the first place. But when I humbly ask him for help with a character defect, and I pray the serenity prayer, which is one of the biggest things that I do it all the time. I still do it daily. Anytime I start getting that feeling to where I'm gonna get agitated, I start praying that serenity prayer. And I start trying to open myself up to being accepting of what's going on in the moment, trying to look for the ways that I can maybe help with it, fix it, and understanding that I need to let go of the rest of that because it is probably not important enough for me to lose my cool about.
Right.
So I just can't stress it enough, the importance of practicing what we're talking about here. You learn to do it and you get better at it the more you practice it.
Yeah, you were sharing this 3 words came through my head. I said, you began this faith journey by pretending.
Yeah.
It grew by as you practiced this faith, and now it's become an exercised faith.
Absolutely.
And just like we were talking the other day about being an instrument, it's the more you've exercised that faith, the more you become in tune with your higher power.
Right.
And, not only the better has your life been, but the more effective your life has become. And so again, it's just I get that things of faith can be a struggle for so many people.
Right.
But take it on faith that you too can have a vibrant life of faith. Absolutely. As you need to have one, because it will undergird your recovery, it will undergird every aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
And so as we wrap up, I'm going to pose the same question I asked you to our viewers. And so folks, how do you get over hang-ups about trusting in a higher power? Take a few minutes, put your answers down in the comment section below, and we'd like to read what you say, hear about your journey, and I know stories from your journey are going to help someone else today. And on that note, for My Sober Truth, I'm Mark.
Hey, I'm Sean, and here's hoping that today you stay drunk with success. Love y'all. Hi, folks. Thanks for watching. If you're ready for another round of My Sober Truth, then belly on up to mysobertruth.com and click on the double shot button today. There you'll find the daily inspiration, encouragement, and support that'll help you stay clean, on track, and growing in every area of your life. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and if you got a minute, stick around, watch another video. Love y'all.